Imagine this. The entire world runs on an unbelievable balance. The sun never gets too close to burn us alive, and never drifts so far that the earth freezes. The wind never blows so hard that cities are wiped away, and never stops completely so we can't even breathe. The rain never floods the entire planet, and never disappears long enough to kill everything. You think that's ordinary? You think that's coincidence? Every second, this perfect balance is happening right in front of your eyes, and you just call it nature. Islam says it's divine order. Atheism says it's random chance. But if everything is this precisely balanced, can randomness really be that intelligent? That idea always blows my mind, man. Like, we wake up every single day, walk around, scroll through our phones, eat breakfast, and we're sitting inside this unbelievably complex system that's running perfectly. It's not chaos, it's structure, it's math, it's balance, and we just live in it like it's no big deal. The Earth's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. The moon's perfectly placed to control the tides. And we're here complaining that Wi-Fi's slow. You ever stop and think about how wild that is? I mean, if one little variable was off, like one fraction of gravity weaker, one chemical element slightly different, life wouldn't even exist. Not just humans, but anything. The whole thing would collapse. So when people say it's random chance, I get it. I get the scientific perspective. But it also makes me wonder, how can something that perfect just happen by accident? Now, Islam, it talks about this exact idea in such a poetic way. It calls it mizan, meaning balance. The Quran talks about how everything in creation has been made in measure, in proportion. The stars, the oceans, the mountains, even our own emotions. There's this verse that says, "And he raised the sky and set the balance, so do not transgress within the balance." It's like this divine blueprint that everything follows. And when I hear that, part of me goes, damn, that actually makes sense. Because even in science you have laws, right? Gravity, thermodynamics, motion. They're consistent. They never just take a day off. Like, imagine if gravity decided to chill for a few minutes. Everything would just float away. The fact that these laws exist and never change already tells you something about order. But then atheism comes in with this other perspective, and it's fascinating too. It says that order is the natural outcome of chaos given enough time, that through random mutations, cosmic accidents, and billions of years, complexity organizes itself, like consciousness evolved because it had to. Planets align by probability. We're not the center of the universe, we're just a product of it. And there's something humbling about that idea. Like, it strips away the ego. It reminds you that you're not special, you're just part of this enormous cosmic story. But at the same time, that randomness being so intelligent, so fine-tuned, is what makes me scratch my head. Because when you look at something like DNA, a literal coded language that stores information, self-replicates, corrects errors, and evolves, you're like, wait a second, randomness made that? It's like if I handed you a book, beautifully written, full of poetry, structure, or meaning, and told you, yeah, this just exploded into existence one day from ink and paper colliding in space. You'd think I'm insane, and yet that's kind of the argument we accept when we say everything came from nothing and just worked out perfectly. Now, I'm not saying one side is right or wrong. I'm just fascinated by how both of them, religion and atheism, are trying to make sense of the same mystery. The difference is the lens they use. Islam sees design, purpose, intention. Atheism sees pattern, emergence, probability, but both are staring at the same stars, both are in awe of the same universe. And maybe that's the point. Maybe awe is universal. Like, when you see a sunset, your brain doesn't go, that's 400 nanometers of light scattering through atmospheric dust. You just go, wow. There's something built into us that responds to beauty, to order, to wonder. And that feeling, whatever it is, might be the bridge between science and faith. Because think about this. Everything around you is tuned for life. The atmosphere has just enough oxygen to breathe, but not enough to burn. The Earth's tilt gives us seasons. The moon stabilizes our orbit. Even your eyes, they're designed to see the visible spectrum of light that just happens to be the exact range of sunlight that penetrates Earth's atmosphere. You don't see gamma rays or microwaves. You see sunlight. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe that's how divine design looks when you measure it. Islam would say, of course, the one who made you made the light for you. And atheism would say, no, you evolved to fit the light. Both sound valid, both make sense, but they come from completely different assumptions about reality. One starts with God and looks outward, the other starts with the universe and looks inward. And somewhere in between is us, trying to make sense of it all. The thing that keeps me up sometimes is consciousness itself. Like, what is that? Science can't explain it. You can map brain activity, you can see neurons fire, you can even predict patterns of behavior. But that moment when awareness kicks in, when you feel something, that's still a mystery. You can't measure I in a lab. Islam says consciousness is the soul, that it's divine breath, that God breathed his spirit into humanity, and that's why we can think, feel, love, create. Atheism says it's an emergent property, that once brains got complex enough, awareness appeared. But neither side can I prove it. It's still this insane, unexplained phenomenon that we're all walking around inside of. And here's the crazy part. Whatever you believe, it changes how you live. If you believe everything is divine, that there's purpose behind every atom, every sunrise, every heartbeat, then you see life as a sacred trust. You're grateful, you're humbled, you act with intention. But if you believe it's all just chance, that there's no grand designer, then you find meaning within the randomness, you create your own purpose. You live for love, art, discovery, curiosity. Both can be beautiful, but maybe the question isn't which one is right. Maybe it's, what does your belief make you do? Does it make you kinder, more aware, more connected to life? Because I've met deeply religious people who were arrogant, and I've met atheists who were full of peace and compassion. And I've also met people of faith who are incredibly grounded, calm, full of love, like they're tapped into something eternal. It's not the label, it's the consciousness behind it. Sometimes I think of it like this. If the universe really is a system, then maybe both sides are describing the same thing in different languages. Science is the ply and how religion is the ply. Science tells you what's happening, religion tells you why it matters. You need both to make the story complete. Because imagine explaining music to someone only with math. You can break it down into frequencies, patterns, vibrations, but you'd never capture the feeling. You can describe every note of a song, but you can't explain why it makes you cry. That's the space where maybe God lives, in the gap between understanding and meaning. And I think that's where faith comes in. Not blind belief, but this deep acknowledgement that reality might be bigger than what we can measure. Like when astronauts go into space and look back at Earth, they all say the same thing. They feel this overwhelming sense of unity, of awe, like they're looking at creation itself. Doesn't matter what religion they are. They all feel it. That can't be coincidence. Islam calls that awareness tawheed, the oneness of everything, that nothing exists independently. Everything is connected, sustained by one source. Atheists might call it the interconnectedness of nature, or the cosmic web, or quantum entanglement. But again, it's the same truth in different clothes. And here's something to think about. If randomness was truly random, why does it keep making order? Why does chaos give birth to life, not destruction? Every explosion in the universe, from the Big Bang onward, has produced galaxies, stars, consciousness. What kind of chaos creates some beauty? Maybe randomness is just what divine intelligence looks like from the outside. Maybe we're not smart enough to see the pattern yet. Like, imagine an ant crawling across a laptop keyboard. It has no idea what it's walking on. To the ant, it's just a weird surface, but to us, it's a design, a machine capable of infinite creation. Maybe that's us with the universe. And that's what I love about conversations like this. You don't have to pick a side. You can just explore the mystery. You can admit that you don't know, and that's okay. Because the truth might be bigger than either box we're trying to fit it in. At the end of the day, whether you believe in God or not, you're still part of this balance. You're still breathing air you didn't create, eating food that grows from soil you didn't invent, spinning through space on a rock that somehow supports life. You can call it nature, chance, divine order, whatever word you like, but it's still a miracle. And I think that's the key, gratitude. Just realizing how insane it is to even exist. Out of infinite possibilities, you're here, conscious, aware, able to ask questions like this. That's wild. So maybe the real truth isn't in choosing between Islam or atheism, science or faith. Maybe it's in staying curious, in keeping that wonder alive. Because the second you think you have all the answers, you stop seeing the miracle that's right in front of you. And man, if you really sit in that space, that perfect balance between knowing and mystery, it's almost spiritual, no matter what you call it.